Full Court Press.
There is no stopping this team!
The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools. If it's the sport you care about, we're talking about it.
Merrill for the lead. He's got it!
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Ajay Salvesen.
I'd hate to see how you balance your checkbook.
I'm telling you, I'd hate to see you general manage a team.
Y'all getting paid millions to act like...
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen here with you on the Full Court Press. I hope you had a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed the little extra break, if you had one. I know some of you didn't, but for those who did, hope you enjoyed it. A lot to go over and recap here on the Full Court Press today. As Utah State with that huge win over the weekend and on late Saturday night.
Can we talk about who predicted that the Aggies would win and what the final score would be? Let's go ahead and talk about that for a bit. You know, Eric, It
was part of her pick six. It was a tiebreaker.
Am I a hero? I can't say, but yes. You're welcome, America. You are welcome, Aggie fans. 5879. ESPN's Football Power Index had USU at the start of the season 4-8. Now this week they have us 9-3. Shut up! Are you serious? They have us only losing to BYU, Boise, and San Jose State. Now, by the way, they only gave us like a 12% chance of winning Washington State. Well, welcome to my world where I am right all the time.
That's a frightening world. If Ajay's right all the time.
Hey,
but
you're welcome.
It went from like nobody outside of Cache Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody.
You included.
Was giving Utah State any credit that they wouldn't win more than 3 games, maybe 4. And, look, I did give Utah State more credit than that. You have to give me at least that.
I will. My apologies.
But it went from that to now everybody's doing their updated bowl projections, and Utah State's going to the Arizona Bowl or to the Idaho Potato Bowl. It's like, wow, what a difference a few days makes. Such a swing, and deservedly so. Look, that's a huge win on the road against a Power 5 school. I don't care what you want to say about, Washington State and whether or not they're going to be a good program and how messed up their head coach is. That's still a Power 5 program, and it's in their house. Something that hasn't been done in nearly 50 years, and the first time for a coach to win his first game as that head coach in about 50 years.
1973.
So it's a very historic night for Utah State.
Eric, you need to start looking at your notifications more, man. You got to be better about that.
Looking at my notifications?
On Twitter, dude. You got 20 plus. What are you? Come on, Eric. Care about what the people are tweeting at you.
I do see my notifications. I see them regularly.
But you don't click? Oh, wait, you use TweetDeck. That's why.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm signing out of your Twitter. Eric, yeah.
You shouldn't be in my Twitter.
You left it on logged in. Don't
I logged
blame
out.
me.
I logged out.
No,
I logged out of TweetDeck.
That's why I just saw that you have 20 notifications. Actually, more than 20. Eric, you're right. First win Blake Anderson's the first coach to win his first game as the head coach of the Aggies since 1970. Is it 71 or 73? I believe.
First win for a coach in his debut, I think, since 73.
Since 73, 10-3.
First time to beat a Power 5 school on the road since 71.
Since 71. And I thought that it was our first Power 5 win since Utah. I'm wrong. Because little did I actually, and everybody glossed over it, not just me. Everybody else did. We beat Wake Forest in 14, but nobody cares.
Yeah, that was in Logan.
Like, nobody cares.
That was nice.
That was cute.
But the real barometer is what can you do on the road.
Yeah, I mean, but like beating Utah was a bigger thing than beating Wake Forest. With all due respect to the Demon Deacons football team, who, by the way, that year went 1-7 in conference play, 3-9 overall.
Yeah, they were.
They were pretty bad. But what a win for the Aggies. In fact, our text line is open for you if you have a chance to be a part of the show. We'd love to have you here, part of the Guild Mortgage text line at 435-339-0321. Texting right now, we'd love to hear from you. 435-339-0321. Give us your thoughts of the game. Concerns, questions, what did you like, what did you not like? Love to hear from you. Aggies are on a short week. They don't have a lot of time to celebrate. They got the North Dakota Fighting Hawks coming in, the top 10 FCS football team coming into this house. And for those not paying attention, FCS football is not playing nice with FBS teams as of late. They've been giving them all sorts of grief. So this is not a gimme game by any sort of mean. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Eric?
Yeah, we talked about, could this be, we saw some trends in some early games last week, thinking, could this be a kind of a notable year for FCS programs? Because they played a full season in the spring, and they may be a little bit finer tuned and more dialed in than some of their FBS counterparts, because they had quite a few big wins. I mean, this happens every year where there's a couple that get some victories, but it just seems a little bit more than normal this year, either getting victories or playing teams to the wire. So, yeah, Utah State cannot overlook North Dakota.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good idea for them to do so. And, again, we'll actually learn a lot about North Dakota tomorrow. We got a couple of big guests coming up on that. We're actually working through that right now. Hopefully to have them on tomorrow. Eric, so let's – I know we're to Tuesday because we didn't have a show yesterday because of the Labor Day. And if our fans and our listeners don't mind, let's recap the Washington State win. 5-3-3-8. Did I miss something? Where was DHC on Saturday? He was not listed on the depth chart going into this week, or into this past week, excuse me. I don't think he even traveled.
Right. The word was from Coach Anderson that he was dinged up, and so that's why he wasn't on the two deep when they got ready for Washington State.
Yeah. So, but the backs I thought played pretty darn well considering all. I mean, and we'll get to some of the clutch plays they had, and I thought Calvin Tyler was wonderful. You'll hear from him. He was part of the weekly presser here for week 2. I thought the backs were actually really, really good, and again, they were really, really clutch. So in the first quarter, Utah State gets a field goal. Eric, the score was 3-0 after one quarter. After 30 minutes of football, it was 6-5. And we had a couple of turnovers. We got a safety, courtesy of Ajay which was huge. But the two turnovers were just, it just eats you alive. Peasley trying to fight for extra yardage, gets the ball taken away from him, stripped onto the ground. Washington State recovers, and then you had Logan Bonner throwing a pick. Not a great decision-making on that throw, but it's picked off.
Yeah, only 3 points, though, result in those two turnovers.
How about that defense?
Because the Utah State defense was fantastic.
Oh, they were wonderful.
We love talking about those two drives in the fourth quarter, but we have to talk about how good that defense was, holding strong, not allowing Washington State to get into rhythm, to disrupt passing lanes, to put pressure on their quarterback. They did a really effective job of bottling up the running game, except for one big run that exploded off the left side. Borghi was he was contained.
Yeah.
They did not have much of a running game.
And I was
whatsoever.
really worried about what we were going to do and how we were going to contain Borghi. And, everything from getting over the seal from the edge to wrapping up. There was a bunch of really good open field tackles, Eric, that I was really impressed with from a lot of different guys. Utah State's defense held an opponent scoreless in the first quarter for the first time since 19 at New Mexico. Recorded its first safety since 2020 last year against Nevada. Didn't allow a first-half touchdown for the first time since 19 against Nevada. Defense just came to play and stepped up time after time after time. Huge and great work by Justin Rice was really good. Nick Henniger was awesome. Dominic Tatum was a monster.
Really impressed with Tatum and what he did in space. Yes, he had that unsportsmanlike.
Oh, you can't
the end of the game
do that though.
I
too.
thought could have left the door open for Washington State to.
I wanted to scream.
Counter there and take the game back, but thankfully it didn't happen. But he was fantastic. I thought he was great in space, making great plays, making good reads, defending passes. He was fantastic.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on this one. So going into half at 6-5, we go to the third quarter. Utah State gets the ball to start the third quarter, and on their opening possession of the second half, which I do have here, I swear, they end up kicking a field goal. Connor Coles, by the way, 6 of 6 on field goal attempts, plus the PAT, his lone PAT of the night.
He was 3 for 3.
Sorry, yeah. Well, yeah, 3 for 3.
3 for 3
sorry.
and the PAT.
With this, yeah. Ends up hitting from what? He had 29 or 28, 39, and 23, I believe.
22, 39, and 28.
22, 39, and 28. Is that what you said?
Yep.
So not a bad night for him. He was really clutch as well. So they get a field goal to open it. And what I was worried about is if we keep kicking field goals, we aren't going to win this game. At some point, we needed a touchdown. And, I mean, we didn't get it until like late in the fourth quarter. But, again, a lot of credit to our defense there, especially in the second half, Eric.
5-6-6-2. Great point here. That game reminded me of the Hawaii game a few years ago. Late night, come from behind win, program resurgence type of win. I know WSU is a bottom-tier Pac-12 team, but the heart and grit the team played with to win a P5 game on the road is awesome. Other Aggie teams folded at times like those. Lots to clean up and get better at, but I'm feeling positive about this team and the coaching staff.
I love every bit of that message. Love every bit of it. Yes, there's a lot to clean up, and Coach Anderson alluded to that in his opening statement, by the way, that there's a lot to clean up. But he's excited, and look, a win like that puts you on the trajectory of going upward. And people are going to say, well, it's a bottom-tier Pac-12 team. Don't give me that bull crap. It's a Pac-12 team, and according to everybody in Washington,
they had a 17.5 point.
We're supposed to lose. That's
yes.
Exactly right. We are supposed to lose that, and it's not supposed to be close. And Eric, again, I think that third quarter kind of put a statement of like, hey, look, we're here to stick around. We might be down 12 in the fourth quarter with 5.5 left, but this team's going to grit out. And I loved, and people tweeted this out left and right, and I could not agree with it more. I loved seeing coaches coach to win a ball game. I loved seeing coaches be like, you know what, fourth and whatever.
Yeah, that fourth
we're
down
going for
was
it.
Awesome.
We're going for it. Loved every bit of it.
That fourth down conversion was
oh my gosh,
fantastic.
And poor Calvin, who had just tripped over a line. I mean, those lines can get trippy sometimes. Trips over the line of scrimmage or whatever.
Monster,
yeah. Catches his feet. So you're looking, instead of looking at 1st and 10, you're looking at 4th and 4, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And it's almost the exact same play, just to the opposite side. And Calvin runs it for a first down and more and gets out of bounds and stops the clock. Gutsy call. It was awesome. I loved seeing and the way Anderson and the way Anthony Tucker and this staff got aggressive and went after the Cougars and playing not scared was awesome. It was refreshing.
Well, couple things that I think speak a lot about coaching. You remember early in the game, they had that big bomb. They throw it down to Devin Tompkins. He falls at the 1 yard line and rolls into the end zone.
Yeah.
They line up at the 1. But they keep getting all these false start penalties and pushes them back, and they have to settle for a field goal. Ajay, they didn't have a false start again. And the offensive line looked better and better and better as the game went on.
What happened on that?
And then they did a better job of creating lanes for the running. That coaching staff settled them down, made a few adjustments, got them settled in. And then just how earlier they were really struggling on third downs. Like they could not sustain a drive very well. And neither quarterback could. And so it was hard to determine. Like it was hard to throw in on one guy or the other because both had a turnover. Both kind of struggled to sustain a drive. But when it came down to it, making some of those adjustments, coaching the players right, and then they started converting third downs left and right, and then they got that fourth down conversion as well. It just started cooking and really started going.
9952. Intensity is good, but concerned about future unsportsmanlike penalties, especially Tompkins. The huge hit on the Washington State receiver, great hit. Don't need to say anything to him. Just get up and get back to the huddle. You don't need to say anything. Like, I love the passion, but not the time, especially when there's a ref standing 4 yards away from you. And as soon as he got up and started talking, I thought, here comes the flag. It's coming right now. They just aren't going to hesitate on that. It's just no need to. And then 4086, I'm hearing that the Aggies will be on the west sidelines this year. Is this correct? Yes. They'll be on the blue seat sideline. They're switching sidelines. Yep.
Interesting.
And then 4086 again. Who looked better, Bonner or Peasley? Well, it depends what you want to say. Peasley looked good in some cases. Bonner looked great on the final drive. He goes 10 of 10. In fact, in the fourth quarter, the Aggies went 10 of 11 passing. I thought Bonner. In fact, they didn't have an incomplete pass on that final drive. Looked really, really good. I would say Bonner's going to get the nudge in starting the opening series. I'm not telling you that Peasley's not going to play Saturday or Friday night. I think they're both going to play.
Yeah, I think if you were to ask, which one looked better, clearly it was Bonner who got them into the end zone twice, so you have to give him the nudge. But Peasley can do some things to stretch a play and to gain yards that if you really need to keep a series going, he's the guy to have in there. But you're right, there are a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. That was a great win, but by no means are they contending for the Mountain West title right now. There was a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. 8 penalties for 78 yards that they gave up. 2 turnovers. Still inconsistency at the quarterback position. They're on their way, though, Ajay. That's what's encouraging for a lot of Aggie fans is that the adjustments that are being made and how this team is progressing, really.
It's nuts. Absolutely crazy. And I want to go again to that final drive, 4-0-8-6. I'm watching the replay of the game. There's a lot of extra chit-chat. Oh, there was chit-chat the whole entire game. But again, you can't hit somebody, stand over the guy's body with a ref 4 yards away watching you. Can't do it.
Yeah. Tatum can't do that.
Yep. He knows better, and he'll get the discussion. He'll hear it from Coach Bonda, and he'll hear it from the coaching staff. I don't think he needs to hear any more about it from us. But that fourth quarter was phenomenal, and then defensively, Eric, 2 questions for you. What the fetch was Rolovich thinking when they were up 1st and goal, and they bring in the freshman quarterback Cooper from Lehigh to run 2 plays? Well, it's like a wildcat sort of thing. Ends up losing a total of 4 yards on those 2 plays. They bring back their starter in. They get a delay a game. They end up settling for a field goal, and the Aggies are like, holy crap, we have a chance. They score a touchdown, and this thing's over.
Oh, yeah. If they
It's
get into
done.
the end zone, it's most likely insurmountable. And we were looking at it, and had it been the other quarterback, had it been Delara, if that was his name?
Yeah.
Had he been there in the game, the way he was playing and seeing the field, he could have easily pulled the ball and just scampered off on the right-hand side of the field, which was open, and would have run in for a touchdown.
Oh, just walk.
I mean, there were 2 plays that were just easy.
Just walk.
He would have seen it. The way he was playing, he would have recognized it and gone for it.
Dude, you should have heard the Washington State crowd. After the 2nd and goal play and they lose 2 more yards, the Washington State fans are just screaming at Rolovich. What are you doing? Are we here to win or not, Rolovich? I mean, and by the way, Rolovich is getting grilled by everybody.
Oh, he's getting
He
roasted.
is hearing it from
He is getting
everybody,
roasted.
as he should, by the way. 2197, Eric, he texts into the show. Bonner needs to play majority of the next game. He proved why on Saturday, but Peasley is an elite athlete and needs some reps every game, too. Interesting. So the question is, Eric, how do you balance that? Like, getting reps for Peasley, but making sure Bonner plays majority of the game and keeps rhythm with his offense?
Man, good question. There may be a down and distance situation where it makes a little more sense to have Peasley in there. May just depend on what the defense is doing too. If the defense is giving up space for a scrambling quarterback that could get some big yards, recognize that and say, okay, we're going to go with Peasley for a series here because we think he can get a lot of yards off of these guys.
Yep. And he's a great RPO guy too. He proved that in the first quarter.
He did. There were a couple of times where he just still gave it to the running back where he should have pulled it
and went.
And then went on his own or found an option in the passing and just gave it to his running back, and he was going right into a horde of defenders, and it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So he's got to recognize when to let the running back take and when he needs to pull and to keep it and either go use his own footwork or get it out with his arm. So there were a couple of times where he didn't read that right on the RPO. But yeah, I think there's still an opportunity for Peasley to get in games. Thing is, with Bonner, it was tight. There was some rhythm where they finally got some things going. And I think you have to give a lot of credit to that offensive line in the run game.
Oh, yeah, he had plenty of time in the pocket,
Jr.
yep.
But that helped Bonner start to get into a rhythm too. And so I think that he is a guy that's been in more of those types of situations than Peasley has. and that played into why he got to come back out and lead another scoring drive.
4-4-4-6 is there a reason the Aggies are switching to the west side? I would hate to be the opposing team on the east side with the student section right there. So I had two questions, actually. Why were the Aggies on the east side anyways? Like, the sun is right in your eyes. I mean, and there's shade on the west side. You're kind of like next to where, I don't know how you call it, the season ticket holders are. It's just, I don't know. I don't get why they were never on the west side in the first place. I've always wondered this. Do you know, or does Al Lewis, if he's listening, do you know, Al? What in the world happened there?
I don't know. I've seen teams like be on one side for most of a season and then for like a game or two, like switch it. But you typically at Utah State, they're always on that east side. I always thought that it was because as the season goes on and it gets colder, you want to be in the sun to help keep you a little bit warmer. But and you want to be right there with the fans and the student section who kind of pump you up and get that excitement. But I don't know. I have no idea why anybody chooses which sides they ultimately decide on.
9952, did they change sidelines because season ticket holders interacting with the visiting team players? Maybe. Again, I'm not sure on that.
Problem?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. And then he says, look up Washington State University football tweets. Their it is. Their catchphrase is, "We couged it." So that's true. Like, there's 20 tweets underneath the final score. It says, "Yep, knew we were gonna couged it. Yep, we're gonna coug it. Yep, there we are." So I guess that's their new phrase for Rolovich is "we couged it." I'm not even joking. There's like, and 9952 is spot on. There's, 4086. Which running back stood out?
Well, that's pretty easy. That's Calvin
Tyler
Jr., 84 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he was solid.
94 total yards on the day. He was really good. Again, he just
14 carries, 84 yards. Gentry looked good in moments too. He had 14 carries as well, but only 47 yards.
But it's what they were able to do on third. I mean, Eric, it's 3rd and 6. You're throwing it, and then Coach Anderson's like, "We're running it. We're going to do what we know we're good at right now. Right now, we're good at running the ball." And he trusted his offensive line. He trusted his running back to find gaps. He trusted the receivers to get downfield blocks. It was just a great, just awesome game plan and awesome adjustments made by this coaching staff. Quarter after quarter, minute after minute, I just thought they were phenomenal. For me, you're right. I think it's Tyler that stood out to me. And he says, "Is our team undisciplined? I heard there was an incident with their crowd." No idea. I have no idea.
Not heard that. I don't know.
Me neither.
Can't speak to that.
5662 sides each locker room is on. No, because the Aggies locker room is on the east side of the field. It's not on the west side. So they're going to have to cross paths with whoever they're going against to get to the other side of the field. But Washington State was the same way too. They were on the near side and would have to go across the field diagonal to get to their locker room. So they're not the only team to be doing that. It's interesting. Yeah, no idea. Yeah. Hey, we got to go to break. Can we talk more about this game? Because I want to get to the fourth quarter with you and just get your thoughts on what Bonner did. Devin Tompkins was so clutch. I'd love to get more from you and from our listeners on that.
I do. I want to read this off from this is Daniel Hansen.
I love Danny.
He's part of our beat writer for Cache Valley Daily. He stays close to Utah State, what's going on with the Aggies. He says, Utah State conversions on the final 2 drives.
Oh, give me this.
3rd and 4 from their own 36. 3rd and 6 from their own 47. 3rd and 9 from the opponent's 46. 4th and 3 from their own 41. Plus a forced 3 and out when you absolutely needed a stop.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Clutch. It was very clutch.
I love it.
So, more about the recapping what happened for Utah State on the road at Washington State. We'll hear from the coach and the players, get some of their reactions as well. Love to hear from you as well. Continue to chime in on the Guild Mortgage Guild Mortgage text line. I should say Guild Mortgage text line is 435-339-0321 here on the Full Court Press.
This is The Herd.
The winner in this is also
Colin Cowherd.
There's not as many smart people as you think. It's just a reality. It'd be a no-brainer if you said, hey, you got a chance to get Wayne Gretzky on your team, or you get a chance at Michael Jordan on your team. Oh, we don't need him. No thanks. We're good.
Yes, he is Wayne Gretzky and he is Michael Jordan. And He's right.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance. Are you getting ready to retire but your spouse isn't 65 yet? We can help. We focus on health insurance so we can provide you the best possible services and information. Come the third Thursday, September 16th at 7 p.m. to our free seminar. We'll empower you with the information you need to make a confident decision. Come see us at LSS Insurance the third Thursday, September 16th at 7 p.m. Call 752-9493 to RSVP as seating is limited.
There's a lot of strain on various industries right now. Supplies stretched thin as demand is at an all-time high. If you are building or remodeling and are looking for ideas for stone to face your home, it's crazy. Coldwater Stone and Tree Mountain and Castellite and Logan want to take that frustration and challenge away from you. They are a local homegrown business with stone products made by Coldwater and sold by Castellite. Stop in and make your choice today for brick, block, rock, paver, and tile. Go where the pros go. Online at castellite.com.
This is Nate Lamson with Valley Office Systems. Did you know that Valley Office Systems is a local company with Utah ownership, and we are debt-free with 47 years of industry experience? Valley remains your safe and smart choice for document solutions and all things office. Visit valleyofficesystems.com.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Every great team knows that you have to train to stay on top of your game. Even top players continue to practice the fundamentals. That's why Les Olson Company offers free IT security awareness training so your business can stop threats before they become a problem. Learn what to do in case of a suspected phishing attack. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
Welcome back to Logan, USU students. We hope you love it here and encourage you to support our community by shopping local. An easy way to do this is to pick up a copy of the Best of Northern Utah magazine. This contest recognizes the top 2 businesses in nearly 200 categories, voted on by you, the consumer. It's the contest every business wants to win. Pick up your free copy at a number of locations around town, including Lee's Marketplace, Al's Sporting Goods, Beehive Grill, and Aggies, or go to bestofnorthernutah.com.
It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Still up in the air. Still evaluating it. Both did really good things. Both made some boneheaded mistakes that could have hurt us. We were hard on them both. Still conversation of that. But we're not sure when we'll make that final decision. We are moving towards one, there's no doubt, and this is not something we're going to continue all year. But this week could very well see a similar rotation. Just want to be very thorough in the process before we make a final decision.
How much more thorough do you need to get? I mean, you've had all of fall camp. You had a game that you alternated every series with the other guy. And I get it. I
but
mean,
Eric, they
until
both made
those
good
two
decisions, and they both made boneheaded decisions.
Yeah, but until that scoring drive, neither one had stood out. But hey, I have to give Coach credit. There's some people, and me included, who felt like this coach is coming. He's got his quarterback coming with him. Well, he'll go with the guy he's familiar with, and he's giving Andrew Peasley an absolute fair shot at becoming the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
At Utah State.
Yep. Right now, leaning towards Bonner, though.
Yes. But, I mean, he's given Peasley every opportunity.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, without question. 0945, the real MVP of the weekend. He has an article that was put out, 12 years ago, maybe, I think. Playing my glory days of playing baseball. Luckily, they're over. So, luckily, I've moved on to better things than trying to live my younger self. So, anyways, Eric, the fourth quarter.
But an article about you playing baseball?
Well, so we put together this baseball team in the Northern Utah League. We were called the Logan Cubs. We sucked really badly. Really badly. We took a butt kicking from everybody, I think, at least once a week, if not twice a week. I'd rather not think about it right now. I honestly would rather not. I want to stay positive today.
Is that you in the middle?
Eric, can we move on?
In the picture?
Oh, jeez. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that, Eric.
I'm glad that you at least thought of the Cubs as a team name.
That's probably why we suck so bad. That explains everything.
They have won 7 in a row lately.
Great. So they back to 20 games under 500 then? Good for them. Jeez. Hey, the one thing I wanted to ask you about is that drive to cut it within 5. They're down 23-11 after the field goal that was good by Janikowski from 27 out because they brought in a wildcat formation with a diamond running back package to end up kicking a field goal. Aggies scored 15 straight points to win this game. Here's where it got curious, though, for all honest and purposes. Down 23-11, you have the ball with 12:02 left in the game. They go 9 plays, 62 yards, and take 4:45 off the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I don't think there was 9 plays. I think there was more than 9 plays. But 10 of these plays are rushing. They used on the ground. And they're just chewing up clock. Like Gentry, I mean, they're gaining yards. Gentry for 4, 2, and 7. Gentry for 13 again. Then Noah for 6 and then no gain. Gentry for a yard. Bonner with 3 completions. And then Tompkins runs for 14. Tyler rushes for 3 and 2 and a touchdown. I mean, they were just chewing clock, and so by the time they score a touchdown, there's 5:27 left, and they're still down 5. I was like, can we pick up the pace a little bit?
Well, that wasn't the one that concerned me about pace. It was after they scored there.
Oh, it was the next
They had
drive.
the stop. They get the ball back, and they just didn't seem to be having a lot of urgency. In fact, one play, they're coming down, and they're just like milling around, wasting time on the clock, not using a timeout. Like 30 seconds roll off the clock, and they didn't do anything.
Okay, so Nimrod kicks. By the way, I love that name, Nimrod. Good for you, buddy. He kicks it off. Washington State completes 2 passes for a total of 5 yards. Laura sacked on 3rd down. So the Aggies get the ball at the 3:01 mark. And it's Tyler Bonner again for completions to Rogers. No, not Rogers, excuse me. To McGriff. Ooh, by the way, McGriff was so good.
He looked good.
Tyler, again, twice. And then Tompkins for 12 and 11 in the first down. Bonner ran for 7. Threw an incomplete pass, but that was pass interference on Washington State. And then Bonner completes it to Tompkins for 7 on a slant for the game-winning touchdown. It's just incredible.
I think going for it on the 2-point conversion and getting that.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that was good, too. 2-6-0-3. So is Ajay going to streak around the quad with USU getting the big win? I will not tell you if I did or didn't because I think the police might be listening. They're big fans of the show, and I don't want to get myself in trouble.
There are cameras everywhere.
There are cameras everywhere, but you can actually find the blind spots of the cameras, I found. Eric, again, just really impressed with what they were able to do. I guess it was, so it wasn't 9 plays. Sorry, I read it wrong. 15 plays on that drive to cut it to 5, Eric. 15 plays, 70 yards. They took 6 minutes and 38 seconds off the clock. The Aggies did. Just to cut it to 5.
Well, yeah, they just kept wearing down Washington State's defense. And it just seems kind of funny to be able to say that.
Yeah.
The Aggie offensive line and running game was wearing down a P5 defensive front.
It's crazy.
They had some good players. Here's Coach Anderson talking about that running game that Utah State was able to put together in Pullman.
Over 200 yards against that group, against, especially veteran group. A lot of guys play a lot of downs for Washington State defensively. We expected it to be a little tough early. We just wanted to be patient with the run game. It obviously got better and better as the game went on. And I think that plays into our style of play and the way we prepare physically in the offseason. It showed up in the fourth quarter in a big way. We were fresh. We still had kind of juice in our tank, and it felt like they were kind of falling apart a little bit. And holes got bigger, the runs got better, and we were able to run the ball in some key areas. 3rd and 6, run the ball for a first. That's not a given, especially against that front. Run the ball in from the 4 or 5 yard line and the goal line. Those are typically really tough, hard yards. So I was really pleased with the O-line. We didn't give up a sack. it got scary back there a couple of times, but didn't give up a sack and rushed for over 200 against a Pac-12 opponent. Those are all good numbers. And we use a lot of different running backs, like we talked about by committee. I thought Calvin had a really good game, but you saw key plays from a lot of different guys, and that's probably going to be the formula moving forward.
Yeah, I thought Calvin Tyler Jr. was great. John Gentry looked good in certain situations. Noah had a good run or two. What this looks like, this coming week is a good question. Who's going to be carrying the rock? Will there be Devin Tompkins? Will we see some kind of fly sweep stuff like that, where we see a wide receiver get a carry every now and then on a speed play? So I don't know, but bottom line is it worked for Utah State. And Ajay, it's hard to get more balanced than what Utah State was. 219 yards passing and 222 yards rushing. That's the epitome of balance. And just very, very effective for the Aggies on that late Saturday night. And I actually want to hear from Calvin Tyler Jr. too about his thoughts. Would he, from his point of view, seeing the running game and how well it was able to come together. Here's a guy who was in the Pac-12 before. He was at Oregon State, and when I talked to him a few weeks ago, he was really excited for the opportunity to go back to Pullman and play against a Pac-12 team who's not that far away from where he used to go to school.
Most definitely. We didn't really talk about it, but we knew, like Coach Anderson said, like we knew second half was gonna be ours because we gonna prepare. We was gonna wear them guys down. We just gonna dominate the second half because we knew first half gonna be jitters and we're gonna see like things probably can go up and down, but we knew second half was gonna be ours. And so as far as running the ball, that's what we do every day. As far as making plays and each of the running backs, that's what we complement each other well, and I think we get the job done right. Nice. But as far as like being a Pac-12 team, I never beat Washington State my 4 years at Oregon State. I never beat them. The last time I was in that stadium, it was like a horrible feeling for me because we were supposed to go bowling that year, and we lost the game with a minute left. On a 4th and 1, we didn't convert, and they went downfield and scored. And I just remember them like throwing like bowling balls at us like they was going bowling. So that was the last the last thing that happened to me on that field. So it felt great when we got the dub, and man, I was emotional. I don't know if anybody, so I was very emotional after the game because it was just a blessing to get that dub.
It was a good win. Calvin Tyler was a huge part of that. And he looked good. I mean,
he was just so good at being patient. Like, he didn't rush anything. And by the way, you know what the biggest great thing about him was? How many fumbles did he have?
0.
In his first game, he had 0 fumbles. And for how many times he carried the rock and how hard he was getting hit and how many guys were stripping at the ball, that was really impressive. No fumbles. He trips on the turf on a 3rd and 4, which would have been easily a first down and more, and then turns around and the next play, same play, opposite side, takes it for a first down, and is smart enough to get out of bounds. Stuff like that, short-term memory with him. I just thought he was so good. Really impressive from him last night.
Ajay, defensively, Justin Rice, first time we've seen him in a game in an Aggie uniform, he was everything as advertised.
Oh, my gosh, he's so darn
aggressive,
good.
fast. He had a tackle for loss. He was in on a lot of plays that some of them he just didn't get credited for, but he was definitely a part of.
He was a monster.
He looked fantastic.
Yeah.
But then, as we've already talked about Tatum, he looked great in space in the secondary, making big plays.
Big tackles. Open field tackles was so monstrous for this team. So big. And there were so many open field tackles that could have been much bigger gains for Washington State that they were able to stop them on.
But then the guys up front, AJ Vongbachan, Nick Henninger, Jalen Bannerman, Joyner, there were a lot of guys up front that were really bottling up this running game that we'd heard all about. Hey, they got a Doak Walker candidate in this running back, and this is a really big, experienced offensive line. You're not going to get any hands on this quarterback, whomever it is. But I thought that defensive front did a really, really good job.
Yeah. I think there's a few open gaps where, DeLara, who was able to scramble for yards. I mean, that's the thing. That was the problem. And the Garantino cat, who started the game, I thought he was really good about finding gaps and scrambling for first down. I got to find out how many yards he rushed for. He ran for, 25 yards, 19 in net. Yeah, he ran it well. He was good. Now, Borghi, of course, had 98, but as a quarterback, Jarek Garantano was just phenomenal at being patient, pulling it down, finding yards, and getting first downs. That was a pain in the side to deal with.
But Jalen Bannerman for Utah State, he came in with 3 total tackles, 2 were solo. He did have a sack at 2.5 tackles for loss, and lots of praise from Coach Anderson.
He's been a surprise for us. Didn't really know what to expect when we got him in the spring. He had a few really, really good days early in spring ball that kind of piqued our interest, and then he got hurt. Missed most of the spring, if you guys remember, so we didn't really get to see a whole lot. And unfortunately, he had a very similar fall camp. Saw flashes of a guy that could run and would run to the ball, and then he got hurt again in fall camp and missed most of fall camp. So it's been kind of touch and go with him. He came back off the injury and had a really good prep going into the game. I agree, he did show up. He ran well to the ball. He chased. He was disruptive. Our ends, I thought, played good on both sides. We for the most part, held our own at the point of attack, with the exception of a couple of breakdowns. But he was a bright spot, and hopefully he can stay healthy and keep moving forward. I don't know if y'all noticed his jersey number changed. He was wearing a 45 or something number, and he said he looked better in a single digit. I told him he'd look better if he earned it, and he really did. His work ethic and his attitude earned him an opportunity to get in that jersey, and I think he's excited about wearing it. It's a little thing, but it means a lot when you consider that he earned that through hard work and doing little things right, and it's showing up on the field.
He's I told you, Eric, this defense is going to be doggone good.
Yeah, I've always felt like the strength of this team really is going to be on the defensive side.
You've seen it. By the way, I don't mean to get too ahead of myself. I need to calm down here. They beat Air Force. With this defense, they beat Air Force.
I certainly feel a lot more
into existence.
I feel more confident in their ability to bottle up what Air Force does, but it's still a very different style that Rick Anderson's not familiar with.
There it is. I know. Eric, come on, dude. I was right again this week, and I was pretty darn close to even predicting the exact score. So let's just jump on my wagon like everyone else is doing and go along with it. Hey, we got a bunch of texts we have to get to when we come back, Eric, including one about Mark Few. Am I missing something here?
Yes, he's in the news for the wrong reasons today.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. We'll get to that. If you want to chime in on the Guild Mortgage text line, 435-339-0321, and join us here on the Full Court Press.
If you want to hit a home run or score a touchdown when it comes to your vehicle's maintenance, get your oil changed at Valvoline Instant Oil Change in Logan. This is Dustin with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Preventative maintenance is huge in your game plan to keep your vehicle on the road. Not only do we change your oil, but we can also provide other services like recharging your air conditioning. Stay in your car while our trained pros service your vehicle. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, 695 North Main in Logan, across from Angie's.
Ascent Aesthetics is throwing a parking lot party Monday, September 13th from 4 to 8. The first 50 people receive gift bags. Enjoy food trucks, prizes every 15 minutes, live demos, and you can win amazing treatments like Botox, skincare, laser hair removal, and microneedling. Special pricing is available on all purchases. Join Ascent Aesthetics Monday, September 13th from 4 to 8 at 169 North Gateway Drive, Providence. Prizes, fun, and food. Go to AscentAesthetics.com. That's AscentAesthetics.com for more details. Ascent Aesthetics looks forward to meeting you.
Life is hard, so making sure you find that perfect woman is important. You need someone that will be by your side through the good and the bad. Once you have found her, show her that she is special with a beautiful diamond ring from Jerix. Yes, it is all about the romance. At Jerix, you won't find a more intimate setting. Where you purchase the ring might not be as important as who you choose to marry, but it's pretty close.
Jerix Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jerix. My name is John Brenchley. Last year, my father, Lynn, passed away. Our family misses him tremendously. From the first phone call we made to White Pine Funeral Services until he was laid to rest, White Pine helped us every step of the way. The staff was there to guide us through the entire process. They were kind, gracious, and their facilities are amazing. White Pine helped to make the difficult situation of losing my dad into a positive experience where we could remember him and celebrate his life.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
The Riverwoods Conference Center is the center in Cache Valley for business, entertainment, and special events. Whether you're hosting a large or small event, you have the choice of inside with all the new modern interior renovations or outside along the scenic banks of the beautiful Logan River. The Riverwoods is an ideal choice, offering seamless planning, easy catering coordination, and will make your event as professional or as beautiful as desired. To book your next event or for more info, visit theriverwoods.com or call 435-750-5151. We'll see you at the Riverwoods.
The first ever Latino Festival is September 18th on Center Street in Logan. Come celebrate the Latin culture with food, music, dance, and cultural performances. The festivities get underway at 3 p.m. Enjoy live bands, a parade with authentic Latin dress. And did we mention food? Ridiculously good food trucks. Then work off the calories with everyone's favorite dance-based workout, Zumba. The Latino Festival is presented by Gosner Foods, where you can earn up to $20 an hour, quarterly bonuses, and free health insurance. Members First Credit Union. Our name says it all. Thermo Fisher Hispanic Employees Resources Group. Cytiva. Earn hourly wages of $20 or more at Cytiva. iFit, a global company committed to diversity and inclusion, welcomes everyone to the Latino Festival. Bring your family, your friends, and even your dance shoes to the first ever Latino Festival, September 18th, starting at 3 p.m. on Logan's Center Street.
I'm here with Jay Broadbent from Alpine Home Medical. Jay, I hear your ads for CPAP resupply all the time. What do I need to do to just get that taken care of?
It's easy. We can set up your CPAP resupply within a few minutes. We'll work out all the insurance for you, and then we'll start mailing the supplies straight to your door. You can even chat with a CPAP specialist online. Just visit us at alpinehomemedical.com. We'll have you sleeping better in no time.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. We all know some of the side effects of not sleeping well: forgetfulness, inability to focus, bad driving, hallucinations now and again. Does this sound familiar? City of Lewiston? Lewiston. We at My Mattress care about you and your well-being. Prove all the other cities wrong and show them that you do care about better sleep, and buy a mattress at My Mattress. If you're sleep deprived and can't remember where we're located, we're at 981 South Main by the South Walmart, Lewiston. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally?
Northern Utah and Southern Idaho's home for sports. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
I feel like Coach Bonda and this new team, new coaches, I felt like we just had a different mentality going into this game. We felt like we were the underdogs, and we just wanted to make big plays and be fast, physical, and tackle the ball.
Dominic Tatum.
Dude, you should listen to his part of the press conference. He's so to the point. Like, here's my answer. I'll ask him a couple really good questions, and I think he gave like 5-word answers. And he wasn't being disrespectful. He just answers it, and then he's done. He just doesn't have much to say.
I will tell you what I need to say,
and we're done talking. Yeah,
don't need to say anymore.
Don't need to add anymore. Hey, a couple of texts came through, Eric. I want to get through these. 3513 text into the show. 2 things stood out about the game. Vince Lombardi said winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. And whether it was transfers or coaches that come from a winning culture, there was enough of that attitude Saturday night to make winning plays and winning coaching decisions, especially at the end. And that attitude and culture of winning has been absent for a long time. So that was awesome to witness. I would agree with him on that. The second thing was the ability to play fast and slow and methodical at some times in the same possession. The ability to control pace and grind the clock when needed and play with speed to keep the defense on toes is hard to do and something rarely seen done effectively. Fun to watch. Love the energy and passion. Go Aggies.
Great text.
Love the text.
I do want to take a little bit of an issue with the line that attitude and culture of winning has been absent for a long time. This is a team that's been going bowling more often than not over the last 10, 12 years.
True.
So,
well, yeah.
I think before that,
here's the thing.
Yeah, I would say absolutely that epitomizes Utah State. But in the last 10 or 12 years, I mean, I got to find a media guide here, but
there.
More often than not, in the last decade, they've been going bowling. So that
Yes,
if you go to a bowl game, you have to be. I'm not saying you're always a winning team when you go bowling.
Look, the last
but when Utah
2
State's
years,
gone bowling, more often than not, they are a winning.
The
program.
last 2 years feel like the last 5 years. I mean, just how drudgery it was. I mean, even in Gary's first
2
year.
years ago, they went bowling.
Yeah, Eric, come on. 2 years ago, we were still getting our butts handed to. And then we played
it was
Kent
a
State.
grind. It wasn't
we played
great.
Kent State and gave up 52 points, man. 52 to Kent State. Their quarterback had like 200 yards rushing.
Yes, that was not pretty.
That was not good.
It's not pretty.
It's and I think what it is the energy and the want and the desire to go out and win a ball game. When a coach says, "Oh, it's 4th and 3 on our own 47," we're going for it. We're gonna go get this thing. We're gonna go win this ball game. We're here for one reason: it's to win. It's not for me to collect a paycheck.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I felt like we had that finally, and it was so good to see. It was refreshing.
You didn't think you had that with Matt Wells?
No.
Different times in the Matt Wells era?
Not consistently, no. Not consistently with Matt Wells. No. I mean, come on. Dude, he went like, 3-9 after he lost Gary's players, finally got back to a bowl game, lost to New Mexico, State? In a bowl game? Or Akron? Or who was it? Or
lost to New Mexico State in a bowl game.
They lost to Eric. They lost
in
to
Arizona.
They lost to New Mexico State in a bowl game. Hello.
I think this revisionist history is interesting that we're suddenly just throwing everything out. I'm just saying, look, let's recognize what really was. And it wasn't. Utah State has not been a losing culture for a long time. That's just the only thing I have an issue with. They had a bad year last year. They weren't as great the year before, but they did go to a bowl game. The year before that, they won 11 games. I mean, how short is our memory?
Eric, so let me say this. How long has it been since we've consistently won? Gary
Not
Anderson?
long ago.
Gary Anderson.
Matt Wells consistently won. He had a bad year. Yes. He went 3-9. It was awful.
Yes, it was.
But it turned things around again and was back to a successful winning program.
I get what you're saying.
The last 2 years of Gary, one bad year under Matt. Outside of that, it's been a winning program.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay.
I don't mean to make a bigger deal of it than it needs to be. It was a great text. I just one little line there. I felt like I needed to set straight.
I just got a text from somebody, and they said, "What about the 11-2 season?" Like, okay, so there was 11-2.
Yeah.
But oh man, I got to be really careful. Do you remember when we had Gage Ferguson in here, and we were talking to Gage, and some players felt like a couple of coaches were already starting to see their way out.
But that's besides the point. We're trying to change the narrative. Did they win games? Was it a successful football program? Yes. The bottom line, was it a W or an L?
Okay, true enough. Yep.
Let's not get sidetracked. Let's not get distracted by the fancy flowers on the sidelines.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. 8968 text in. I've got to admit, I go far enough back, Utah State history, just to think, how are they going to blow this game, even though they were ahead with 13 seconds left? I didn't leave that press box until there were 4 zeros on that
when
clock.
Dominic Tatum had that
my gosh. I didn't
personal foul, I thought, this is Auburn all over again.
8003. The thing that I loved about the game is that we came from behind to win. In the past, that hasn't been the case.
That's true. They've had the leads and then just weren't able to hang on to them. This was very different.
9948. The win Saturday night was a huge win, no doubt. Having said that, this win for the Aggies proves how overrated the Pac-12 is. How horrible showing for the Pac-12 in week 1 of college football weekend.
Well, certainly for the Pac-12 North.
They're not the only, They're not the only conference who had issues. By the
Oregon
way.
won, and even then they had
They had to
struggled
fight
against
for it.
Fresno State.
Dude, how about
everybody else was terrible?
Montana taking it to Washington. They showed the score on the scoreboard, and the Cougar crowd went nuts. And then Carmen went over there and put an arrow right in their back, and then they lost 26-23.
Give credit to Nevada winning at Cal.
Yeah, that was good. That was
win
great
for them.
Good, and Nevada's a good football team. I'm
Pac-12
so glad
South looked really good.
I'm so glad we don't play Fresno or Nevada this year.
Yes,
that could not have worked out any better for us.
Yes, very true. So we'll hear more from the coach and the players coming up next hour. We'll get into who won Pick 6. We'll share the stat that blew our mind, our player of the week. And also, we'll preview and kind of recap what happened this last weekend with high school football, and the NFL starts this week. We'll give some predictions.
Go Buccaneers! Lifelong fan.
What we think might happen in the NFL in this upcoming season. Before we do that, though, we're going to hear from Dan Patrick, Above the Noise, and Napa Auto Parts sponsors the segment. And don't forget, they've got their gold filter sale going on now through September 15th, and that's where you can find the best deal on filters now through the Napa Gold Filters sale at 5 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores from Preston to Providence, and going on now through September 15th. And a lot of other deals in store as well. Go check it out.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. In recent years, college football has been all about offense. Even the traditionally conservative Alabama teams have racked up a ton of points. But the defense got revenge on opening weekend. Clemson and Georgia were supposed to have high-powered offenses. Neither team scored an offensive touchdown in their showdown on Saturday night. Bulldogs coming away with a 10-3 win thanks to a pick 6. Penn State's defense salvaged a dramatic win over Wisconsin. Virginia Tech's defense dominated number 10 North Carolina. Iowa forced turnovers to blow out Indiana in a Big Ten battle. And while they're still good on offense, Alabama's defense looked ferocious in a blowout win over Miami. Sometimes offenses start out slower in the season, then they figure it out. But there seemed to be a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball this weekend. Anomaly. But maybe it's time for the balance to shift and for defenses to make a bit of a comeback in 2021. I know it's only 1 week. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Last year, there was a victim of identity theft. Every 3 seconds, a criminal could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, damaging your credit, even selling your personal information on the dark web. Unfortunately, you could miss certain threats to your identity by just checking bank statements and monitoring your credit. The solution? LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock sees certain threats you might miss if you're just monitoring your credit and alerts you if they find something that could be suspicious. Plus, if you become a victim of identity theft, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist is dedicated to your case and will work to fix it from start to finish. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock by Norton can help protect your personal information so you can keep what's yours. Save up to 25% off your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to LifeLock.com. Use the promo code Patrick. That's LifeLock.com, promo code Patrick for up to
This is the season to stock up on oil and filters. It's the Fall Napa Gold Filter Sale at all 5 Cache Valley Napa Auto Parts stores. Napa Synthetic Blend Oil, $1.99 a quart. Seafoam Fuel Additive, $5.99 a can. Napa 15W40, $9.99 a gallon. Chevron Dello 15W40, $11.99 a gallon. These specials and a whole lot more during the Napa Gold Filter Sale, now through September 15th at your 5 locally owned Preston to Providence Napa Auto Parts stores.
Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. We offer a large selection of personalized service and extraordinary benefits with our integrity price guarantee. At Match Quality, you'll find our prices to be as low or lower than any store in the state. We consistently beat any 50 to 70% off sales, internet pricing, or so-called wholesale deals. In fact, we even price our diamonds at internet pricing, so you'll get S.E. Needham quality at internet prices. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign
Sports
of the clock.
Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, and online at 1069thefan.com.
And here's what you need to know.
News out of the Pacific Northwest, where Gonzaga head basketball coach Mark Few was cited last night for DUI just north of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, with a blood alcohol level of 1.20. That's 50% higher than the legal limit. That said, Few was not arrested. He was just cited. First real AP college football poll is out, and number 1 remains the same after Alabama's dominant performance last weekend. Georgia jumps up to number 2 after beating Clemson. Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M round out the top 5. UCLA, by the way, jumped up to number 16, which is where LSU was a week ago. The NFL season kicks off 2 nights from now. Tampa Bay hosting Dallas. And says safety Jordan Whitehead is out due to a hamstring injury. Already Major League Baseball underway on this Tuesday. The Mets get a 2-run bomb from Pete Alonso in the first. They lead at Miami 2-0. Still in that first inning. I'm Ralph Irvin.
It's the Full Court Press.
There is no stopping this team.
The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools. If it's the sport you care about, we're talking about it.
Merrill for the lead. He's got it.
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Ajay Salvesen.
I hate to see how you balance your checkbook.
I'm telling you, I'd hate to see you general manage a team.
Y'all getting paid millions to act like...
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
What's up, everybody? Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen here on the Full Court Press. Man, what a great weekend to recap.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Utah State with the big win at Washington State.
I'll tell you this. Saturday and Sunday felt like one day to me, travel-wise. Like, that game went forever. Do you know when I tweeted? Okay, by the way, it was 12:20 when I tweeted at you guys. And you're like, oh, it's only 12:20. It's not even that close to 1.
No, you tweeted,
like, it's 40 minutes to 1.
Everybody in Logan, it's 1 a.m.
I said it's almost 1 a.m.
It's like 12:20. It's far from 1 a.m.
It's 40 minutes to 1 a.m., man. That's close enough. And you're like, oh, it's only 12:19, OJ. And then
hang with us, radio listeners here. It's almost Wednesday, so.
Oh, shut up.
Hang with us. We'll help you get to Wednesday.
Bite me. God, such a jerk. Just trying to, elevate the mood there because it's late for all of us.
Oh, I just looked at the clock and, man, it's almost 1 a.m. in Logan. Actually, it's 12:20, Ajay.
That's close enough.
It's late for all of us. Thank you.
Did you hear Doug? So Doug in the press conference goes, all right, one more question. It's really late here.
Yes.
Oh, man,
it's even later in Logan.
Dude, honestly, I got home at about 4:45 in the morning. And then and the adrenaline doesn't really wear off. I mean, even on the plane ride, because it was such a short plane ride, you get home and you're like, oh, man, I can't believe we won. Oh, man, it's only 5 a.m. Got to watch some SportsCenter or something. And then you're just, I didn't get to bed till like 5:36.
Got to find some highlights.
Oh, geez, it was long. It was a great win. Eric, Aggies, instead of being 0-1, Las Vegas is like, 3.5 wins. That's about what you're going to see with the Aggies. Yeah. Oh, no, they're going to be 9-3. Told you, bowl expectations. They're looking really saucy.
Everything is flipped.
Shut the front door.
Win a game.
Ajay's the only one who
on the
believed.
road.
Ajay Salvesen is the only one that believed in this team. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Your score prediction. Existence. What was the final score of the game?
26-23.
Right. Okay. Your score prediction.
Yep.
Was part of our Pick 6 tiebreaker.
Yep. Give me it.
27-24.
This is where I like to use the word yummy. Yummy. That's what it was. 9948, by the way, our Guild Mortgage text line's open, 435-339-0321. 9948, isn't it awesome to be back to football season? Quick question. Do you see Alabama getting beat this year? It seems that they have reloaded once again. Okay, here is the thing. Alabama. Do you remember, on Friday, we were like, hey, look, Miami, it wasn't like a 27-point spread? I think it was 21, wasn't it?
Was it?
No, it wasn't.
No, it was like 14 or 17.
It was 14. That's what it was. And so you and I are like, it's not going to be 14. It's Miami, dude. It's a good team. It was 27 or 28 to nothing in the first half, or like 28-7. So here is the thing about Alabama, and this has been the case for the last 12 years. They don't have to rebuild. It is always a reload. Their fourth-string running back would be our starting running back by a mile.
44-13 was the final score.
Oh, my gosh.
And they just looked so
Miami.
good. Georgia upsets Clemson, but
dude,
it wasn't It was a defensive battle.
It was.
But I've got questions about both teams offensively if they're going to be in the hunt at the end.
How good is Georgia really offensively, or how bad is Clemson? I mean, that's the question to ask. Alabama, it's theirs to lose. I was so doggone impressed. That quarterback throws 3 first-half touchdowns, throws a 4th one in the second half. They dominated. Every bit of that game, they dominated Miami. It is so impressive the way Nick Saban it's like a robotic machine. It's like the Russian hockey team back in the glory days, right? When they used to dominate opponents. They didn't smile. They didn't laugh. They didn't joke. It was just, robotic machine just killing you.
But for the weekend it was, big win, obviously, for Utah State on the road at Washington State. The expectations have changed dramatically in the national dialogue about where the Aggies were projected to be before the season, and now a few days go by, and they're projecting bowl games, and the win-loss is totally different. But for Blake Anderson, he says, nah, nothing's changed.
Just on to the next one. Obviously excited about the win. We felt like we could win going in. I told the guys in the locker room I was excited but not surprised. I felt like we had a game plan that gave us a great chance to win. I think we were being underestimated pretty much by everybody going into the game, especially in the state of Washington, that's for sure. So we felt like that we had prepared very well. We had some key areas that could be difficult for them. And if we didn't just shoot ourselves in the foot with a ton of mistakes, that our energy level, conditioning level, the style of play would give them some trouble. And honestly, it ultimately did just that. So we weren't surprised, excited but not surprised. And so in that sense, what we expect of us is just improvement and getting better from week 1 to week 2. So that hasn't changed inside our building at all.
Look, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I've tweeted it out once or twice. North Dakota is not a pushover football team. They're a top 10 FCS team, and FCS teams are not playing nice with the division or the FBS teams, the bigger brothers, if you will. They're coming out there, they're punching you right in the mouth. If they get confidence, you're in trouble. Washington got punched in the mouth by Montana. UNLV and who else in the mouth? Colorado State. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing for them to be losing to these FCS teams.
UC Davis.
You can't take these kind of teams for granted. You go out there, you play your A game, you play them like they're an Alabama team, and you go out there and play your very best football. So anybody who's saying it's a gimme, calm down. Just knock it off.
Hey, I want to quickly remind people, coming up at 5:15.
Yes.
We're going to call for the Skyview Bread and Butter play of the game. Skyview played Mountain Ridge on Friday night. Hurricane John Newbold, Rex Davis were on the call, and they called out the Old Grist Mill Bread and Butter play of the night. If you remember what it was, coming up at 5:15, we'll call for it. If you remember what it was, call in, correctly identify it. If you've won in the last 30 days, don't call. We want to make sure we spread it around, give other people opportunities to win. We don't want people calling back every week to get the bread.
Hey, 5662. So, and this is a great question. So, if Alabama reloads next year, like they did this year, which is likely, how bad do the Aggies lose next season? Remember, Aggies go to Alabama in Tuscaloosa and get a take on the Crimson Tide. We're going to upset Alabama by 3. Bonner for the win.
Does Bonner have another year of eligibility?
Oh, crap. Okay, Utah State by 1.
I like your confidence.
Hey, at least it's better than yours. 9948, I'm with you, Ajay. If the Aggies lose Friday night, this last win means nothing.
Yes.
Now, let's not get pessimistic. It's a cautionary warning. Don't think that this is a gimme game against North Dakota.
No, we joked.
Do not think that.
We joked going into week 1 that there were some layups.
Yeah.
On the Utah State schedule.
Well, we joked, but we're serious about
UNLV and Colorado State.
We're serious about those two, but not on North Dakota.
Both of them lose to FCS programs, but North Dakota, we kind of joked that could have been a layup, could be a layup too, but you're right. You can't overlook the FCS, especially the way that they're playing across the board this year.
Oh, they're impressive. My goodness gracious, they're impressive. Yeah, they're going to be – hey, and Al told me yesterday, and I wish I wish he or I would ask this question.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Eric, is there an advantage for FCS teams who played in the spring to be playing football now? Is there an advantage there or no?
We were debating that last week.
Okay. Well, and I don't think there is. I think now the Aggies got a game underneath their belt. I don't think there's much of an advantage. I think we're even filled.
I think
filled, whatever
maybe
that
an
is.
advantage in week 1. In week 2, probably not. Because in week 1, you can catch somebody off guard. You can catch them by surprise. Less so, I think, in week 2 can you do that.
Fair enough. 9948. There is no way the Aggies beat Alabama next year in Tuscaloosa. That's funny because everyone said the same thing about Montana and Washington.
Gotta believe.
Hey, you have to believe. All right? If you don't believe, then what the fetch are you doing in life? All right? Aggies by 1 in Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa?
Is it Tuscaloosa?
It's Tuscaloosa.
Interesting. It's a nice area. I got kicked out of a restaurant there, but it's a nice place. 9948. Alabama isn't Washington. Great point. Yes, actually, everybody who plays Alabama is an FCS team. Anybody who plays them.
That's very true.
Even LSU, who just got whomped by UCLA. Did you see that?
I did not. I heard about it.
Oh my gosh, just dismantled.
LSU could be very overrated.
Yeah, I think that is the case. I know we got to get to a break here in just a little bit. When we come back, I got to ask you though, Eric. There were some weird college football games the other day on Saturday. Monday night ended up being an absolute fun game to watch with Notre Dame, Florida State. You saw Mackenzie Milton come back in, kind of sentimental, throws a touchdown pass, gets his team back in the game, and then the kicker blows it. But yeah, fun game. But good week 1 of games, and we got a great set of games coming up this week too.
And you know what? Let's that kind of gets to our segue here for our pick 6 to recap the weekend that was.
Yes.
Normally we would do this on Mondays.
Let me win a more marshmallow pie. Marshmallow pie.
Is it marshmallow pie or moon pie?
I thought it was a marshmallow pie.
I thought you liked the moon pie.
Wait,
that I got you.
Hold on. Is it a marshmallow pie or is it a moon pie?
Because a moon pie has marshmallow in it.
But is it called a marshmallow pie or not?
It's called a moon pie.
It's called a moon pie?
Yes.
Well, no wonder nobody knew what I was talking about.
You're going around trying to find
I'm like, do you have any marshmallow pies? And they're like, marshmallows right here. And I'm like, no, moron. Look
Don't know
at
what
me.
that
right
is.
here, you 16-year-old. I'm asking, do you have a marshmallow pie in your grocery store that is about 3,700 square feet long? There's the marshmallows. Our pies are in the frozen section. Okay, genius. Why don't you go back to the frozen section and go store meat again? I'll go find the marshmallow pies.
All right, here we go. This is our pick 6 recap of the weekend that was. How would the state of Utah do in college football in its opening weekend?
So I wasn't really paying attention to this question. Can I change my answer?
The line was 2.5.
I wasn't paying attention.
So U of U hosted Weber. USU was at Washington State. BYU played Arizona down in Las Vegas. Southern Utah was at Arizona State. Well, the line was at 2.5. I took the under. You took the over. There were 3 wins. Utah State, and BYU. So you got that correct.
I guessed on that one.
You sure you want to change your question?
No, it's already written in ink.
Okay. To Major League Soccer, RSL versus FC Dallas. Real Salt Lake by 0.5.
That was a really stupid line that you put. That was dumb.
I took the over. You took the under. RSL won 3-2. So I got that correct.
Good for you. No one cares about soccer.
Georgia at number 5 Georgia at number 3 Clemson. Clemson was favored by 3.5. I took the under, you took the over. It was Georgia who won, so I got that one correct. And then BYU and Arizona. BYU set the line that BYU would force 2.5 turnovers. They actually only forced 1. We both took the under on that, so we both get that correct.
Aggies by 40, by the way, in that game.
Utah over Weber State. The line you set was at 23.5. Utah won by 23, so that was really close. But we both took the overs. Neither one of us got that one correct. And then we come down to the last one here. It could either be a tie or I go ahead and I win outright. Utah State, Washington State. Bonner passing yards. You set the line at 195.5. I took the under. You took the over. He actually threw for 143. So I got 4. You got 2. You did get really close to the tiebreaker, though. That was impressive. But
so did I lose?
Doesn't matter. You did lose, unfortunately.
Great. 9176. I was going full-on Karen mode in the grocery store while being wrong. I just thought it was a marshmallow pie. That's it.
5338. Ajay's brain is a marshmallow pie.
See, this is kind of the insulting crap I have to deal with.
Hey, it's 5:15. If you remember what the Skyview bread and butter play of the game was when their matchup against Mountain Ridge on Friday, call us and let us know what it was. 435-752-1069. And if you correctly identify it, you get 4 loaves of bread from the Old Grist Mill. Again, 435-752-1069 from Friday night, the Skyview bread and butter play of the game.
Yeah, Eric, here's the kicker to this is Skyview football. It's interesting as we talk about Skyview Grist Mill bread and butter is Skyview's now lost 2 in a row. And I haven't done any research on this, but I need to find out the last time Skyview lost 2 games in a row. By double digits, by the way. I'm not. I don't want to say I'm shocked. That's a bad way to put it. But just the way they got dismantled by 2 teams like the way they did. It was talking, to John Newble, and he was positive about Skyview. He thinks that they're going to be all right. Said they shot themselves in the foot a couple of times with some bad turnovers, but that he thinks come region play, we're going to see who they are. Now, they've got, I think, Bear River this week, but then, of course, they host Ridgeline next Friday night at 7 o'clock in Smithfield. By the way, Ridgeline Green Canyon on Thursday night this week. So I'm interested to see what Skyview looks like, but I know a lot of people are writing Skyview off about the kind of team that they are. I wouldn't do that yet. I would not do that yet. I would wait to see what Skyview looks like in region play. And by the way, credit to Ridgeline. We'll talk about it here in a little while, but credit to Ridgeline again for just dominating another opponent. It's so impressive what they're able to do, this Ridgeline football team. So, yeah, region play gets underway this week, Ridgeline Green Canyon. But, Eric, I'm excited about region play. Already here. Can't wait for it. Do we have a winner, by the way?
For bread and butter?
Yeah.
We do.
Who?
It was competitive. We had multiple people calling in.
Yes.
But it was Josh Yonk who got it first.
Nice.
And the play was early in the game. Jackson Sundstrom. He got an interception at midfield on the really one of the first plays of the game. So that was a big play, a big defensive turnover.
But they lost by like 18, though.
But there was an exciting moment early in the game.
I'm going to get a mom email in you now. Hey, your kids or your co-host is being negative about my kid or that team.
Jackson Sundstrom had a big play. And
Good
that
for
was
him.
The bread and butter play of the game, and Josh Yonk got it right.
Hey,
first.
5662 wants to know, Eric, what's your treat of choice?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Really?
Yep.
I've given you those, and you've let them sit in your drawer for like a month and a half.
No, never. Those will never last for that long.
Really? I wish you would have told me that like a year ago when I was buying you stuff and you just leave it in your drawer. Well, anything I give to you, you're like, hey, kids, look what I got. Look what I brought home. You didn't even give me credit. You act like you're the hero. Hey, look what I brought home, kids. Isn't this cool?
Look what Daddy got for you.
Wow, Dad, you're the best.
Hey, Ajay, let's, on Tuesdays, let's get into our stat that blew our minds and our player of the week. And to do that, we need the fancy intro. So we'll do that.
Time to see who the real MVP is.
If you have a good game, your game is going to say that. You don't have to say it.
Puts a lot of cool things in perspective anytime you're the first time doing something.
It's the Full Court Press Player of the Week.
Let's go!
All right, Ajay, since you lost pick 6, I will let you go first.
My guy, Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback to ever play, greatest athlete to ever play any sport. Tom Brady has a chance to
cueing Michael Phelps
win.
For debate.
Who? Michael Phelps? Dude, he swims in water. Calm down. And the waves give him momentum to get to where he's going to.
Just get to your play.
Okay, 3 days until the Bucs play the Cowboys. Tom Brady has a chance to become only the second quarterback in NFL history to win a game. He joined Vinny Testaverde at the age of 44 or older. To win a game at the age of 44 and older, Tom Brady can join Vinny Testaverde as only one of two quarterbacks to do so. Starting quarterbacks 44 or older are 1-4 all time.
So let me get this straight. You are awarding a player of the week to somebody who hasn't done anything yet.
Because Tom Brady's going to
might do something later this week.
He's going to win on Thursday, and he's going to be my player of the week.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Mine goes to Connor Coles, the place kicker for the Utah State Aggies. 3 for 3 for field goals from 22, 39, and 28. He also kicked the PAT. I didn't hear about this. I'm not aware of it. I've got to follow up. But his teammate, one of the offensive linemen, Chandler Dolphin, saying he did that with a broken foot. So I don't know what the details are on that.
I don't know how we didn't ask about that.
I'm going to be talking to him today. I may have to ask him.
I need to ask. I didn't know how we didn't ask Coach about that yesterday. Yeah. Dang it. We had an opportunity.
Okay, so that's our players that we've designated.
Go
How about
Tom Brady.
The stats?
Let's take a look at the numbers. It's the stat that blew our minds.
He did what?
On the Full Court Press.
Wow, that blew my mind.
Okay, I'll go first again because it's my turn. Montana took down, according to ESPN Stats and Info, number 20 Washington, the fifth time an FCS team beat a ranked opponent since the FCS split in 78. The Grizzlies, Eric, were 1-17-1 versus the Huskies entering in that game, with only other win coming in 1920.
Wow.
Dude, they are now 2-17-1 versus the Huskies. Dude,
long
good
drought.
for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Good for Montana.
I love it. I absolutely love when FCS teams, except when they're playing the Aggies, go and get big wins against P5 opponents.
Mine is baseball related. The Blue Jays.
This is about the Cubs.
No, Cubs have won 7 in a row, but this isn't about
My
that.
gosh.
The Blue Jays have the top 3 run scorers in the American League currently. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is 105 runs. Bo Bichette at 103, and Marcus Semien at 97. That's there's only been one team in the last 80 years that's had the top 3 scorers, and that was Cleveland back in 1952. Granted, the season's not over yet, but Toronto is well on their way. So that's a stat that blew my mind. That those are some hot bats in Toronto.
Yeah, dude, no one cares about the Blue Jays. We only care about 2 teams. The Dodgers, the Padres. No, Dodgers, Giants, and Braves. Only 3 teams that baseball needs to know about.
Really?
Yes.
Conveniently forget about the Yankees?
Ah, shoot, yeah. I guess we ought to catch Rizzo and the Yankees. Or Brian and the Giants. That's got to be tough to be a Cub right now.
Tampa's got an 8.5 game lead over New York.
What?
Yes. The White Sox have a 10-game lead over Cleveland.
Here's the thing. You say that. Here's the stat that's going to blow your mind, Eric. Neither of those teams are going to be in the ALCS.
You don't think so?
No. Tampa Bay's going to choke, as will the White Sox. It's going to be the Yankees and somebody else. Tampa Bay will not be there. The Yankees turn it on in the playoffs.
Well, Tampa's been playing great all year. They've been playing great the last few years.
Great.
They're perennially in the playoffs.
Well, that's a cool story. Too bad they can't get to the World Series. I'm just saying.
They were just in the World Series.
When?
The
COVID year?
A few years ago.
Yeah, nobody's counting the COVID stuff, dude. No one counts the Lakers as the NBA champions. Nobody.
Oh, my word.
Nobody even thinks about that.
Stick around. We'll recap the weekend that was with high school football and preview the upcoming NFL season as well with some of our predictions and hot takes for the NFL. Stick around. That's coming up next on the Full Court Press.
The first ever Latino Festival is September 18th on Center Street in Logan. Come celebrate the Latin culture with food, music, dance, and cultural performances. The festivities get underway at 3 p.m. Enjoy live bands, a parade with authentic Latin dress. And did we mention food? Ridiculously good food trucks. Then work off the calories with everyone's favorite dance-based workout, Zumba. The Latino Festival is presented by Gosner Foods, where you can earn up to $20 an hour, quarterly bonuses, and free health insurance. Members First Credit Union. Our name says it all. Thermo Fisher Hispanic Employees Resources Group. Cytiva. Earn hourly wages of $20 or more at Cytiva. iFit, a global company committed to diversity and inclusion, welcomes everyone to the Latino Festival. Bring your family, your friends, and even your dance shoes to the first ever Latino Festival, September 18th, starting at 3 p.m. on Logan's Center Street.
Hi, this is Danny Hansen, manager of the Cache Valley Bank Smithfield branch.
And I'm Daryl Simmons, business development officer at Cache Valley Bank.
In celebration of our second anniversary being in Smithfield, we would like to invite you and your family to our anniversary celebration on the evening of September 15th.
We will have food and prizes at our Smithfield location, 10 North Main in Smithfield.
The party will begin immediately after the Skyview Homecoming Parade.
Come celebrate with us and learn what an account at Cache Valley Bank can do for you. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, it helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Utah Army National Guard. Aired by the Utah Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's youth hockey time for boys and girls ages 4 to 14. The Cache Valley Youth Hockey League wants you to try hockey for 2 weeks, totally free.
That's right. First-time skaters can try hockey for free for 2 weeks.
All equipment is included. Coaches will walk you through everything needed. If you are interested in youth hockey, sign-ups are going on now. To learn more about the 2-week free youth hockey trial, go to cachehockey.com. That's cachehockey.com. Cache Valley Youth Hockey. Join today.
If you want to hit a home run or score a touchdown when it comes to your vehicle's maintenance, get your oil changed at Valvoline Instant Oil Change in Logan. This is Dustin with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Preventative maintenance is huge in your game plan to keep your vehicle on the road. Not only do we change your oil, but we can also provide other services like recharging your air conditioning. Stay in your car while our trained pros service your vehicle. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, 695 North Main in Logan, across from Aggies.
We all have items in our homes that can be recycled. Old aluminum cans, aluminum siding, car batteries, electrical cords, plumbing fixtures, and dozens of other things. Did you know if Americans recycled just 1/10 of their newspapers, it would save 25 million trees this year? Recycling is easy at Valley Recycling. Take in your metals, even if you're not sure what they are. They'll take what they can and pay you for it. Valley Recycling pays cash for old cars and other scrap metal. That's why they say when you go green, you get green at Valley Recycling, 145 North 10th West in Logan.
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Ajay Salvesen.
What went wrong, Eric? The Los Angeles of Anaheim Angels have 2 of the modern greatest hitters in baseball, and they can't win games. Trout is at fault too because he did sign a massive contract.
It's not his fault. Long-term financial security.
Honestly.
You get to live in Orange County and collect that paycheck. It's not a bad gig.
But you know what's a better gig? Is going to play for a playoff team and winning playoff games. That's a great gig.
Weekdays from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Work, school, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, the gym, to the airport to pick up loved ones, to the kids' soccer games, piano lessons, out for movie night, to hear your favorite band in the city, over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and on last year's amazing road trip. Your vehicle takes you so many places. Protect it. When you leave your vehicle, remember to always take your keys or key fob with you and lock the doors. If you suspect auto theft, contact the National Insurance Crime Bureau at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB, or visit our website at www.nicb.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Dear John, uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. But when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
To get your high blood pressure to a healthy range, visit heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Eric Frandsen, Ajay, Salvesen, welcome back to the Full Court Press.
Why are you laughing?
Because, Eric, usually I'm the one that's immature, but lately it's been you, and it's just not good
Immature?
in so many ways.
Never.
Immature. Immature.
Okay.
Hey, look, we've had a busy show. We've had to recap a lot, so let's go ahead and get to the final bit of it. Cache Valley Region 11 football, they begin region play this Thursday night, I guess, if you will. And last weekend on Friday night, kind of a mixed weekend. Green Canyon, great win over Morgan. The score wouldn't have mattered in any shape or form based on what they had to deal with last week. But, Eric, nonetheless, they get the win on the road at Morgan. That's a great win for them.
Yeah, really cool the way they started that game. They only had 10 guys on the first defensive play. They only had 11 guys on the first special teams play. Just that there's a hole in the defense and there was a hole in the special teams. Just in recognition and of they were a man down, and so I thought that was a good way of doing that. I'm glad that they played. I think it was good for those boys in that community to have something to do and to rally around. But that again, give that Green Canyon team a ton of credit for how they continue to win close games. They just keep grinding and they keep finding ways to win.
It's kind of hysterical, actually, when you think about it. I mean, the last 3 wins have been by less than 3 points. Am I right when I say that?
They're all about 3 or 4 points.
3 or 4 points just away from that, and then they get another big win against a Morgan. Great win for them. Again, there's just that. There's that. I guess I don't know. I don't want to say relief, but joy coming after what they've had to deal with last week and to be able to respond the way they did. It's a great win for Green Canyon. So congratulations to the Wolfpack. I believe they are still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Without a loss. Speaking of without a loss, Ridgeline continues to ho-hum through their schedule as they get ready for region play. They played Thursday night against Green Canyon this week. But, Eric, this offense is just masterful. And we've talked about the defense as well. It's a team that's clicking on all facets of the football field.
It is, and it is a very balanced team. The way they're taking care of business offensively and defensively, this is a Ridgeline team that's very on point. And I'll be honest with you, Ajay, before the season started, when I saw that Thursday night matchup, Ridgeline and Green Canyon, I thought, really? I could think of maybe a little better game on the schedule that would be more heightened interest.
Yeah, sure, we both could.
The Skyview Ridgeline game. But it's turning out, look, those are the only undefeated teams right now. So what a great way to kick off Region 11 play.
That game on Thursday night will be at 7 o'clock, I believe, Eric.
Yes.
Am I around that?
Yep.
So,
Dave Simmons and Nick Zollinger will be on the call. We'll have it streamed on Cache Valley Daily.
That. And then on the other side, Bonneville takes care of Mountain Crest in a ho-hum victory. Final score there, 31-7. Look, Mountain Crest, Bonneville's just a different animal right now when it comes to Mountain Crest. Preston Lofthouse, they contained him. They shut him down, didn't allow him to get any sort of rhythm. And then offensively, Bonneville just took care of the ball and was able to matriculate, as one Hall of Fame coach would say, back when he was coaching the Kansas City Chiefs, Hank Stram. And so Bonneville was able to use the clock, just methodically and surgically carve through this Mountain Crest defense. Final score 31-7. Impressive.
Yeah, Mountain Crest, still trying to get a few things settled at kind of who they are. But they've got a big matchup this week with Logan coming to town. Logan struggled mightily at Highland last week, and so it'll be Mountain Crest hosting Logan. It's their homecoming game for Mountain Crest, so that'll be interesting. A lot of sauciness in that one, I think.
Logan runs into a buzzsaw of their own as they face the Highland Idaho Rams, and boy, Highland is as good as they have been advertised throughout the year and even last year. Highland looked really, really good. Look, people are going to pin this loss on Logan. I guess there is some blame to give, but you got to give a lot of credit to Highland. That's just a very stalwart football team.
Yeah, they were, and they just talking to Al on Saturday night during our Aggie coverage. He was just talking about how that was just a very aggressive Highland team that took a lot away from Logan, what they normally do, and just made life difficult for the Grizzlies all night long. And so, again, how will this Logan team bounce back? They've been a real surprise and really refreshing to see how well they're playing so far. So is that, has the team figured out the rubric of Logan, or is that just kind of a one-off and Logan makes their adjustments and they continue to play well? So we'll be finding that out within the next few weeks here.
And then finally, is there anybody missing? I got Ridgeline, Mountain Crest, Skyview. Boy, yeah, just another where they just couldn't get going offensively. I talked to John Newbold the other day, and he just said there was just no rhythm. They kept making their own mistakes, kept shooting themselves in the foot, and they fall to Mountain Ridge.
And Mountain Ridge is a good 6A team.
They certainly are.
That was just a tough draw for Skyview, coming off of another tough draw when they were up in Idaho. So 2 weeks in a row, they really struggled. It was very unfamiliar for Skyview and their fans and that program to have back-to-back losses in the middle of the season. Very uncharacteristic of Skyview to do it, but it was also a really tough back-to-back matchup for them to go through. So, again, kind of like the Logan scenario and Mountain Crest too is, how will they bounce back? How will they recover after a setback like they had?
And I think that's the biggest question now, because it doesn't get any easier. All right, I mean you get through region play this week, but then you got to go play Ridgeline next Friday night. Even at your place, that's not a gimme game, even close to being a gimme game against easily the hottest team in the state of Utah. I say not just in 4A, but maybe in the state of Utah, a team that's scoring 30-plus points without even breaking a sweat.
Yeah, I mean, they'll face Bear River this week. Bear River's another team still trying to find themselves.
Yeah.
Just when it looks like they might be starting to get a little bit of momentum and figuring a few things out and playing a lot better, they have some setbacks. So,
how'd that game against Box Elder go? I didn't even get a chance to look at that.
Those were two teams just looking to find something, and because neither one had a victory yet in the season. Box Elder ends up winning. It was a close game. But it was in Brigham City, a close one, but Bear River just really struggled with any kind of consistency.
All right, so here's what your schedule looks like for this week coming up on September 9th and 10th. Again, Ridgeline, Green Canyon will highlight the schedule. The two undefeated teams set up to play on September 9th, Thursday night, 7 o'clock at Ridgeline. Again, the wonderful Dave Simmons and Nick Zollinger will be on that call at Ridgeline. That game can be found on 104.5 The Ranch. And then you got Mountain Crest and Logan. As you said, it's been it's not the rivalry of the 90s or early 2000s that it once was so long ago, but Mountain Crest and Logan can still be a great game, and boy, a win for either team really helps boost them going into more of the region play, at least deeper into it. It's going to be Mountain Crest's homecoming game, so AJ Knight and John Olson, well, I guess not AJ Knight.
Well, AJ Knight will not be there. He's still out of the country, and we're actually going to have Dave Simmons. So he's calling a game on Thursday, and then he'll slide over and help us out on Friday.
God bless that man.
But Dave, very familiar with these high school teams. He's a Mountain Crest alum, so it'll be fun having him on the call with John Olson on Friday night.
That game will be on 107.7 KLZX. Again, Dave Simmons, John Olson will be on the call for there.
It'll also be on KVNU.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So there'll be Aggie pregame coverage leading up to Utah State and North Dakota. And in the middle will be that Logan High and Mountain Crest football game going on KVNU.
Bear River, as Eric's already mentioned, will be playing at Skyview, so John Newbold, Rex Davis on the call there. Bear River still looking for their first win. Skyview trying to get themselves back on track before a huge one next Friday night at home against Ridgeline. And then Green Canyon, again at Ridgeline on Thursday night. That's your schedule for this week in Regional 11 play. Eric, we're already in Regional 11 play, which means you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games before you head into a UEA game or a fall break game, and then you are into the state playoffs just like that.
Right, and some teams are not doing the fall break game. They've opted not to do the short week and just kind of rolling the dice on how that affects their RPI. So that'll be interesting. Speaking of RPI, that's expected to be released, I think, if I'm not mistaken, next week. And that will be really interesting for high school football. It was kind of controversial initially for girls soccer when it was released, and then they updated it to reflect the games that had happened the night before to get it a little bit more accurate. So hopefully it's a little bit more on points when they do that for football. But yeah, it's exciting, Ajay. It's fun having these games, and now we're into region play and facing each other, and all these games on CashValleyDaily.com that you can watch or go back and rewatch. So a ton of fun. I'm really excited for this season.
So from the high school action to the pro action, now we get to NFL. Week 1 begins this week. Happy NFL to all our pro football fans out there. We start with Thursday night, where it's America's team versus America's quarterback. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. Good way to start the season. Dak Prescott's back. Ezekiel Elliott behind Dak, and then you got the defense. Of course, versus a team that returns all 22 starters, that's 100% vaccinated, returns every single coach from their staff from their last year's Super Bowl champion team. Seems like Tampa Bay is the clear-cut favorite to be in the Super Bowl again. We'll see how that goes. We know how the NFC is, but it's a great way to start off the NFL Week 1 with Dallas and Tampa Bay. Well, for some.
Well,
not for you.
I don't know why we keep calling Dallas America's team. I mean, they have not been relevant for 2.5 decades.
Okay, who's America's team?
3 decades. I don't know if that's just a product of their own marketing. I don't know why anybody calls them that, because they have not been a relevant, important team in the NFL for some people's lifetime. So I don't know why we keep saying that. But the Buccaneers do play the Cowboys. That is true. Thursday on NBC.
I just love how bitter you sounded.
Why do we do that? I mean, if anybody, the Patriots are America's team. I mean, they got the logo. It's all about the revolution. You know, I mean, if anybody's America's team, it's not just because of their logo, but because of all their success over the last 20 years, 2.5 decades.
All right,
let's
just go through this. Hey, there's some really saucy games on here, and for Week 1, let's start with Pittsburgh at Buffalo. It's 11 a.m. on CBS. 2 really good teams. Josh Allen, of course, the former Wyoming quarterback, now Buffalo Bills starting quarterback, had a great season last year. Pittsburgh returns a bunch of defensive guys, but boy, this Buffalo Bills team has their eyes set on a Super Bowl appearance. They think they're that good because they're so balanced offensively and defensively.
Right, I think Allen could threaten to unseat Mahomes for the MVP.
I would not disagree.
But the Steelers team also, they started out great last year.
Yeah.
And then they just really faded all of a sudden. But they flew under a lot of people's radar last year, and then once people started to catch on, hey, these Steelers keep winning games, it became a little bit different, but they still had a pretty decent schedule, all things considered, for most of the year. But so I think a lot of us, at least me, I'm intrigued. Was that a fluke because it was COVID and there was just weird things with schedules and stuff like that? Or is this a Steelers team that is kind of rebounding and is relevant again? I would love to have the Steelers be a relevant team. Historic franchise, well-known, great colors. I mean, it's a great coach. I would love to see the Steelers a nationally relevant program again. But I don't know.
I don't.
Last year we just caught
either.
A lot of people by surprise, and I don't know if it was just a fluke or if it's a new trend for Pittsburgh. But I agree that game on Sunday will be a great game to tune into.
By the way, Darwin Thompson has been released by the Chiefs. He's been picked up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and has been put on their practice squad. So good for Darwin Thompson. Happy for him. He will not see. Unless the running back gets injured, he will not see any snaps in a game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers based on their loaded backfield. Another game that could be intriguing to a lot of people is looking at the 11 a.m. game on CBS as well. I guess in some areas it will be televised. But Arizona at Tennessee, Mike Vrabel, this Tennessee Titans team with Ryan Tannehill led at quarterback. They got Derrick Henry as a MVP candidate, really, in the running back system. This team could be really, really good again defensively. That's where they talk the most. But offensively, if they can just continue to score points, 17, 20 points in that range, I think the defense can take care of the rest. This Tennessee team could be good.
Yeah, Tannehill under center. And look at that Cardinals team, too. Kyler Murray. And I think that's a team that's offensively catches some people by surprise. I think they've got some good talent and some great skill players. I agree. I think that could be a really sneaky, interesting game to watch. Another one I think will be fun will be the Seahawks at the Colts.
Yes.
For some, you can see that on Fox. And that could be – the Vegas line has Seahawks by 2.5. So that could be a really interesting one. The Colts, kind of a new era there for them at quarterback. So, there's been a little bit of controversy in Seattle about people talking about contracts and
Russell
whether they're going to
Wilson's
stay
at the
or
head
not.
of that conversation.
Yes,
You betcha.
an expensive payroll. So, but this is I think a really important year for Seattle. Because it's either we're going to see if this can really work one last time, or we're going to break it down and start from scratch again.
And the other thing about it is they have a rookie linebacker, I guess a second-year linebacker who's a rookie last year in that Jordan Brooks kid who's really, really good, stands alongside Bobby Wagner, is just as quick and has that vision. In fact, Bobby Wagner says he sees a lot of Jordan Brooks in him as a player, just as a young version of him, aggressive, quick to the ball, can tackle well. So Seahawks might be building that defense up again, which would be nice to see in Seattle.
Another game on Fox. This is a little bit in the afternoon. This is Packers at Saints.
Always a good one.
New Orleans has been displaced because of the hurricane, and so the rumor is they had to look at various different locations to play their game this Sunday because the Saints are supposed to host the Packers, and they went through and found out which was the most difficult NFL venue to get to from Green Bay. And that's how they settled on Jacksonville, Florida to host the game this weekend. Green Bay is only favored by 4. Sort of the big question with New Orleans at quarterback.
Yeah,
and how well things go there managing their offense.
Well, Jameis Winston is your presumable starter right now. How well does he do? How short is that leash on Jameis if things don't go well?
And how will they use Taysom Hill? Because
exactly.
Sean Payton says we're still going to use Taysom in certain situations. So what will that look like? That's tight end, as a wide receiver, in certain packages at the quarterback or wildcat. So don't know. Mystery.
Another game that I really like and one that I hopefully get to see here is Cleveland at Kansas City. The rise of Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns is shooting up like just a shooting star. It's been really impressive to see. And, of course, we know who the Kansas City Chiefs are. One of the best defenses, easily the best offense in the AFC. They don't have much to prove. They've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. They're looking to win their their second Super Bowl in 3 years. This team really has all the makings, this Kansas City team does, to maybe, and I say maybe carefully, start to become a dynasty if they can put things together. The question is their offensive line, that it was horrendous in the Super Bowl.
It was really bad.
And they're going to need to be able to protect Patrick Mahomes
They've been addressing
better.
that in the offseason.
They sure did, especially in the draft. Cleveland, on the other hand, we know about Baker Mayfield. He's starting to come up. He's starting to get better. Odell Beckham Jr. over there. They got a good running back. This Browns team, and again, I say carefully, but could be a team that could get a bye in the AFC playoffs if they play their cards right in a very weak AFC North.
Ajay, let me ask you.
Shoot.
Who will be in the AFC title game?
Oh, you just had to, huh? God.
Season starts on Thursday, so looking ahead, trying to project who will be in the AFC title game. If you had to make a prediction today, who would it be?
Man. Boy, Buffalo could be there. And if I'm going to say Buffalo's going to be there, and I think, look, unless Patrick Mahomes, don't let it happen, but if it does, if he can stay healthy, nobody's stopping Kansas City. They just continue to find ways to win. Like last year, they were put behind the 8 ball. I can't tell you how many times in a game, and they continually came out with, down 9, down 10 in the fourth quarter, found ways to win. As long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for the Chiefs, They're going to continue to make noise in the AFC. What Tom Brady was to the Patriots and what the Patriots were to the AFC, I think the Chiefs are going to be to the AFC now, and I think Kansas City and Buffalo are in there.
See, those are my two teams. I've got Buffalo and Kansas City in the AFC title game. I just think two great young quarterbacks, two very solid teams. I think Buffalo does have better defense. I think Kansas City has the better offense. But I think those are two great programs that are on the up, and those are the two teams that stand out above everybody else for me in the AFC.
Okay, NFC, let me ask you.
In the NFC, I think there could be some real wild cards. How does the quarterback change with the Rams, change things, if anything? But in the end, though, I still think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Wow.
Could be a bit of a swan song for Aaron, and so he's still got something to go out and prove. And look, it's hard for me to say, with all the talent that's coming back and the experience of winning it, it's hard for me to pick against the Buccaneers for being there.
Fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to go with you with the Buccaneers. Again, all 22 starters coming back. They stay healthy. It's going to be very hard for anyone in the NFC to beat them, even on their best day and the Bucs' worst day, it seems like. Even if the Bucs they had a crappy November last year, and they still made it out of the mud and came out sparkly clean and as the Super Bowl champions. I like Tampa Bay. I'm going to say Seattle. I think Russell Wilson finds a way with this offense. You talk about a swan song for the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. This could be it for Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. If things don't play out the way he hopes, even if things do, he might say, I need to go find somewhere I'm going to get better protection for my O-line, that they actually care about me as a quarterback, because I don't feel like I'm getting that anymore from the Seahawks organization, and find somewhere else to play. This could be it for Russell Wilson. No better way to go out and just go be in an NFC championship game in a really tough NFC conference, which has been better than it was the last 2 years.
Well, I'm having a hard time figuring out the NFC West. It very well could be the 49ers that go there.
I was thinking
it
San
could
Francisco.
be the Rams. It could be Seattle.
My problem
one of those three teams.
is that San Francisco is still led by Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm not sold on Jimmy anymore. I'm definitely not sold on Trey Lance if he comes in. So I'm not sure if Jimmy can lead this team to a Super Bowl this year. I'm not sold, and he's got to stay healthy, too. That's another problem. Hey, a sneaky team in the AFC that I think can make some noise, bear with me here, I know you're going to laugh, but the Miami Dolphins.
No, I'm not going to laugh at all.
I think the Miami Dolphins have gotten better through the draft and through free agency, know the AFC very well, thanks to their head coach, who was a defensive coordinator for the Patriots. I think he's going to make some noise here in the AFC. I think they finished second in the AFC. Give me your bold, nobody's thinking about this team that could absolutely make some noise in either conference.
Maybe the Raiders.
That's a good one. I thought about it.
The Raiders could be one, because look, they had their first season in Las Vegas and nobody was there. It's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, doesn't make a sound. So this will be the first time that they'll be able to play in front of their crowd in their new arena. I think that's going to make a big difference for them. They could be a really sneaky team that could really be dangerous. And besides, they've got a lot of experience still. We made debate about whether Carr is still a good quarterback or not. But look, he's been in the league a long time. I think he's still really good, got a good arm, and I think he's a good head on his shoulders. I think he's going to be that could be one of those teams to watch out for.
And then who do you have in the Super Bowl? I'm going with Tampa Bay in the NFC, by the way. I just want to make that very clear.
It's hard for me to not pick Tampa Bay. I've tried to talk myself out of it, and I can't. So I've got Tampa there, and then on the other side, I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs.
I know.
I know.
So
I hate dynamic.
I hate it.
They're so. I'd love to pick Josh Allen, the Wyoming Cowboy, but the Kansas City is just so dynamic.
And
it's hard
so
not
experienced. Like, they're just so experienced as well. I'm going to go against the grain just for kicks and giggles, and I get no punishment from it. I'm taking the Bills. Just because I want to see Josh Allen and these guys beat the Chiefs. I'm so sick of Kansas City. I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I can't stand Andy Reid.
Hater.
It's time to move on. Time to move on from that Kansas City team. Please, someone beat them. MVP this year will be who?
Oh, man. That's a great question. It could be Allen. It could be Mahomes. I'll say Allen. I'll just because I like his trajectory now.
Me too.
And I think
like
that some people will say they already know about Patrick Mahomes, and they'll say, "Oh, let's give this kid a try." And so they may give him a little bit more attention. And I think this is going to be a year where he really steps onto a big stage.
I'm going to say Tom Brady. Tom Brady's got vast weapons. I think he's rejuvenated again. He go out there and win an eighth Super Bowl. This guy's got all the tools to use. This could be his best year probably in the last 10 years of football for him. That's saying something. I've got Tom Brady winning the MVP. Go Bucks, as a lifetime fan, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow we're going to talk North Dakota. We're going to have our Opponent Research Wednesday. Who are the Fighting Hawks? We got some good guests coming up as well for that show. Can't wait. It's our actor, athlete, coach who said it, and it's our What Went Wrong Wednesday.
Who wins in a fight, a bull, a raging bull, or a fighting hawk?
Why do you do this all the time, man? You have to put the animals in there, don't you?
I'd go with the bull.
Peter would have a conversation with us right now so we could speak. All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow. It's the Full Court Press here on 106.9 The Fan.